ready to begin. Ms. Burgos, can you take roll?
Trustees present tonight are Ortega, Aguilar, Calderon, and Vizcarra. Trustee Duarte is absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Join me in the flag salute, please. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we begin, tenemos servicios de traducción para quien los necesite. Si alguien necesita servicios de traducción, nos podría mostrar con mano. No, sí, they go, where is it? Aquí afuera tienen los micrófonos si gusta pasar. All right, we'll move on while they get all set up. We have the approval of the agenda. You all have the agenda before you. We can get a motion to approve that.
I move to approve the agenda.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Calderon. We need a second.
Second.
A second by Mr. Ortega. All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 4-0. We have presentations tonight. Our student representatives, we hope are all here. Ms. Ambris.
Yes, good evening. Tonight we will start with Amanda Algraves from Aurora High School.
Good evening, and today I'm going to start with Aurora's bulletin board. Aurora has many early graduates within 4 months. Congratulations to Francisco Bandivas, Eric Ceballos, Brandon Davila, Jose Estrada, Ibrahim Jin, Bella Gonzalez, Ivan Herada, Jose Lian Menchor, Evelyn Leiva, Nitzia Lizaloa, Dieter Martinez, Rodrigo Mendarno, Joel Mendoza, Brenda Ortiz, Giselle Romero, Jocelyn Sandoval, Ivette Terranillo, Frank Valencia. And also, for our school, what we will be doing and had done, Saturday 7th, students had a chance to take their English KC. Saturday 14th, students will have a chance to take their math KC. December 12th, Aurora will have a student committee known as the Eagle's Nest and will choose about 10 to 12 students. Those who are chosen will discuss the need for school. December 13th, Aurora will be presenting Student of the Month, Perfect Attendance, and Honor Roll. December 18th, Aurora will have an SSC/ELAC meeting. December 19th is the end of second quarter and winter break starts. So have a safe and fun winter, and may you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
For Calexico High School, Ms. Frida Castro.
Hi, board members, and this is our December report from CHS. We had a November food drive. We collected 5,595 items. Our holiday money drive. All December, ASB members will be collecting money around campus to buy gifts for less fortunate children. Powder Puff was on December 4th. The seniors won. Sports banquet was on December 9th. All 4 sports were honored. Many clubs are collecting toys and donating them to the neighborhood house. Our winter season, basketball, girls and boys, soccer, girls and boys wrestling has started. Our Latin American theater will be presenting El Soldado Raso on December 12th. From first period to fifth period. Our Mighty Boda concert on December 12th at Barnard Gym at 7. Calexico Parade, which is on this Saturday. Advanced Jazz will be hosting our White Christmas Assembly on December 16th during 4th, 5th, and 6th period. Our district winter concert on December 18th at Barnard Gym. And our senior Christmas and ball will be on December 19th. And wish you all a happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also from Calexico High School, but at the 9th grade, Mariela Lopez. From Enrique Camarena, Mario Sosoya. Sosaya, I'm sorry, it was spelled wrong.
Good evening, board members, administration, and community members. My name is Mario Sosaya, and I am the Enrique Camarena ASB Vice President. I will be presenting the school report tonight and the events of December. Our annual turkey run was held on Wednesday, November 20th. We had a total of 4 divisions with over 200 students who participated this school year. Each division was divided into groups made of 7th grade boys, 7th grade girls, 8th grade boys, and finally 8th grade girls. The top 4 division runners each won a 20-pound turkey. The top earned prize. A total of 80 medals were awarded. We thank Mr. Rojas for helping us coordinate this event and bring joy of competitive running to our students. Our mighty Enrique Camarena Junior High School band performed in the Brawley Cattle Call Parade on Saturday, November 9th, where they did an outstanding job. Our marching band will also be participating in the Calexico Christmas Parade on Saturday, December 14th, where they will represent our school with dignity, respect, and Firebird pride. The annual canned fruit drive competition will come to an end on Wednesday, December 18th. All cans collected will be donated to the Calexico neighborhood house, where all donated items will be used to our locally needy families. The top 2 classes that collect the most cans will win a pizza party. Last year's winning class collected over 900 cans. ASB Spirit Week started this Monday and will end on this Friday, which each day represent a different theme to show spirit as follows: Monday, PJ Pants Day; Tuesday, Nerd Day; Wednesday, Fan Day; Thursday, Crazy Shoe Day; and Friday, Twin Day. Our general parent meeting and student month recognition celebration will take place tomorrow and Thursday, December the 12th. Students of the month across the different content areas will be recognized for their hard work and dedication. Our very much anticipated Club Day will be held on Thursday, December 19th. All clubs and departments will be selling goodies. ASB will also be providing entertainment to students with having a DJ over during our event. Semester finals will be held on Tuesday and Wednesday, December 17th and 18th. Students will be released at 1:30 p.m. Students are encouraged to do their very best on finals. Finally, we want to thank this special opportunity to wish everyone a very blessed Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that everyone present will take time from their busy schedules and take the opportunity to spend it with your loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
We now have Daniela Cortez from Willie Moreno.
We have a change in the presenter.
All right.
Axel Lopez.
Axel Lopez from Willie Moreno.
Good evening, parents and board members. My name is Axel Lopez. I am the student representative from Willie Moreno Junior High. We had some exciting activities at Willie Moreno. We had the club day on December 19th, and we will be selling Christmas grams, and we're having a Christmas door decorating contest, and we're gonna have a toy drive and Santa Claus pictures, and we had a canned food drive on November 18th through 22. First place was Miss Sen. Second place we had a tie with Mr. Flores and Mr. Buenrostro. Third place we had Miss Cervantes. We got about 400 cans collected, donated cans to Las Hormitas Shanty. William Moreno Band won first place on El Centro Christmas Parade competition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lopez, come back to the microphone. You did a wonderful job, but now you have to read the biographies for the students of the month. Do you have them? Thank you. And tonight, Miss Norma Aguilar will be handing out the certificates to our students of the month. As always, this is the favorite part of our evening where our students are recognized at the recommendations of their teachers and or administrators at their sites. So without further ado, the first student to be recognized from Willie Moreno is Jennifer Hernandez. Great.
You can read it, Mr. Lopez.
Our first student of the month is Jennifer Hernandez, and her parents are Olivia Hernandez and Humberto Hernandez. Her GPA is 4.0. Her favorite subject is language arts. Her favorite food is Chinese food. Her favorite color is pink. She listens to pop. Her dream car is a Volkswagen Bisco. She wants to visit Paris and France.
The second student to be recognized this evening from Willie Moreno is Kevin Ramos. Kevin?
His parents are Kayla and Carlos Ramos. About his GPA is 4.0. His favorite subject is ELD. His favorite food is Chinese food. His favorite color is red. His favorite music is pop. His dream car is a Camaro 2013. He would like to visit France, Hollywood, and England. And he would like to work when he grows up on law enforcement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Axel. You did a wonderful job. Our next student to be recognized this evening comes from Enrique Camarena, and it would be Nicole Soriano. So Mr. Sosaya will read her biography.
She's an 8th grader. She is the daughter of Mario Soriano and Lourdes Soriano. Her hobbies include Instagramming, playing with her dogs, and blogging on Tumblr. Her favorite subject in school is history. When she graduates, she would like to go to a university, graduate, and become a psychologist. She would like to thank her parents, her sister, and her best friend, Larissa. Her parents were supporting her sister for helping her through everything, and her best friend for always being there for her.
And now Mr. Sosaya will read the biography of our second student from Enrique Camarena, Victor Valenzuela.
Victor Valenzuela is an 8th grader. He is the son of Sergio Segura and Erika Segura. His hobbies include skateboarding and playing video games. His favorite subject in school is math. When he graduates, he would like to go to a university, and after graduating, he would like to become a firefighter. He would like to thank his parents, Sergio Segura and Erika Segura, for encouraging him to go to school and study hard. His parents for making him a good kid and gave him all the trust and effort. He also thanks his teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Sosaya. And so now we will have, Mariela's not here, correct? Do we have the biography? Oh, Mr. Romero's here. And Mr. Romero will be reading the biography first of Aisa Nunez from 9th grade.
Yeah, and we apologize, but our ASB rep, she came down with an illness. She couldn't be here today, so I'll sit in for her. Well, we want to introduce Aisa Nunez. She here today, Aisa? No. Well, she's a recipient of Student of the Month this school year. She's maintained a fairly competitive GPA. She looks forward to the honor roll. Her aspirations are to attend a major university and perhaps study abroad. Our other student is Angel Gonzalez. Is he here? Angel Gonzalez?
I'm here.
We just want to congratulate Angel and his parents. Angel, too, has kept a highly competitive GPA. We want him to also be one of our honor roll recipients. We look forward to that. Angel does have aspirations to go to a college, major university, and we're very happy for Angel.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. And for Calexico High School, we have Frida Castro reading the biography, starting off with Samantha Ramirez.
Our first student of the month is Samantha Ramirez, grade 12th grade, current GPA 4.67, club CSF, NHS, APYL. Plans for the future: attend UC Davis and major in nutrition to become a pediatric dietitian. Favorite things about Calexico High School: she loves how our class is so united because they've been together for years and our relationship is great, which has made the class of 2014 the best. And special thanks to her parents who have always encouraged her to be the best she can.
Yay, Sammy! She has a very proud tia and a very proud mama here. And the next person for Calexico High School to be recognized this evening, Gustavo de la Cruz.
Gustavo de la Cruz, grade 12th grade, current GPA 4.67, Clubs, Mock Trial, Mesa, Art Club, CSF. Plans for the future, study business, economics at UCLA, and accounting, and then attend law school. He gives special thanks to his mom, his dad, and his friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Castro. And now for Aurora High School, we have Amanda Algraves recognizing first Guadalupe Mojica. Guadalupe?
No, I don't think she came in today.
Go ahead and read her biography.
All right. I asked her a couple of questions, and the first question is, what would you like to work as? I would like to be a nurse assistant. Are you planning to go to college? Yes, I plan to attend IBC. What are your favorite hobbies? One of my favorite hobbies is to play with my son. What do you like about Aurora High School? What I like about Aurora High School is that you work in a faster pace. What do you do during your free time? During my free time, I spend time showing my son new things. If you had one wish, what would that wish be? I would wish for my son to have a good future. How do you feel about knowing that you might graduate from Aurora High School? Knowing that soon I'll graduate from Aurora makes me feel proud and happy. Thank you.
And the second student to be recognized from Aurora High School this evening is Juan Gomez.
Yeah. Juan Gomez, I asked him the same question. What would he like to work as? I would like to work as a video game developer. Are you planning to go to college? Yes, I am planning to attend IVC and then to art institutes located at San Diego. What are your favorite hobbies? My favorite hobby is to draw. What do you like about Aurora High School? What I like about Aurora High School is that it's small and everyone is friendly. What do you do during your free time? During my free time, I like to play video games. If you had one wish, what would that wish be? I wish to be a part of a famous game developer team. How do you feel about graduating at Aurora High School? It feels good. Soon I'll graduate from Aurora High School because I'm proud to be an Eagle.
Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful recognitions for this evening. Okay, as is customary, we have a cake in recognition of our students, and I believe there's cake in the lobby area for everyone to enjoy. So we'll take
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. So 6.
Moving on with our agenda, we have agenda item number 2, fiscal year 2013-14, first interim report. Ms. Carolina Rodriguez.
Good evening, board members. I'm presenting to you the first 2013-2014 first interim report. This is a series of various reports. For the year 13-14, we've already done the adopted budget back in June, the budget update on September, and this is the difference between September and now expenses up to October 31st of 2013. So where are we? This is the first interim report. CUSD is self-certifying as qualified. This indicates that we may not meet our financial obligations in fiscal year 15-16. CUSD is attempting to project change in funding level due to local control funding formula. We're also incorporating the changes of Common Core. Deficit spending continues, and cash flow is also coming through some challenges, and we are projecting a need for a cross-year trend during fiscal year 13-14 and 15-16. Challenges. One of the challenges in creating the report is projecting revenue. The Department of Finance has reported that for this current year, they will fund based on the 11.78% gap. This is not to be verified until June of 2014. However, we need to use this percentage to project revenue. Also, other challenges is we still need to review encroaching programs to eliminate the contributions from the general fund to the restricted funds. Indirect costs decreased to 3%. Also, the accountability structure details of the new funding formula are still not yet determined. And one more is inventory systems are still pending standard operation procedures. To continue with the challenges, Common Core, once the plan is approved, will have to struggle to meet the needs of the technology piece. I know that the team at CUSD is working very hard to conduct a readiness tool to make sure that all of our facilities are equipped with the right technology. Also, revenues in the restricted funds will have a decrease of 8.2% for fiscal year 14-15 and 15-16 due to federal sequestration cuts. Also, contributions for PERS, employer contributions, could raise from the current 11.4% to 13.3%. So, first slide is the revenues for the budget from what was in September to what now is currently, and expenses up to October 31st. There was a realignment of revenue from the revenue limit funding mode to the local control funding formula mode. There was a decrease in unrestricted revenues due to the contribution to adult debt of $284,000. Also, federal, state, and local revenues were adjusted to reflect current year award letters. Expenses. There was a redistribution of EIA carryover among the sites. There was an adjustment of budget line items to reflect current changes in staff. Approximately $600,000 increase in unrestricted due to various projects in maintenance and operations. Restricted funds services were increased by $1 million to reflect budget revisions. Also, on the unrestricted capital outlay, there was an increase of $400,000 due to projects and other costs. Overall, the expenses, even though there were some increases, there were also adjustments, and overall, there was a decrease in expenses of approximately $1 million. Net increase and decrease. In September, we had projected that CUSD would finish the year with an $8.1 million spending deficit. Due to the adjustments and the decrease in expenses, we were able to decrease the spending deficit down to $6.5 million, making that the projected ending fund balance is now 10.5 from the previous 8.9 that we had projected. So what are some of the spending deficit factors? The biggest one is the carryover. Carryover right now, we're carrying $8.5 million. And just as a clarification, carryover is the funding that was not spent for awards in previous years. We did receive the cash, but the services or the programs did not spend the monies. So the cash was received, but it was spent or invested in other services at the time. However, budget-wise, we still need to account for those funds in the expenses column, even though we're not going to get more new additional cash. But the expenses need to be budgeted. Another deficit factor is the fact that we did hire 7 additional management from last year, 42 additional certificated, 40 additional classified, and the enrollment last year was a total of 9,177 pupils. Up to now, we have 9,154. There is a difference of minus 23. The next slide is just a summary of the budget of what it was back in September and what is now in December, with expenses up to October 31st, 2013. Altogether, again, we've decreased the expenses by $1.6 million, and the ending funding spending deficit is down to 6.4. During first interim, we do a comparison of the current budget from September to now, and we also do multi-year projections for the current year and 2 more years to come. What are the assumptions used in projecting the upcoming 2 years? First, we need to understand that multi-year projections are still required regardless of the complete information. Also, we need to take into consideration if the economy will grow, if the risk of not receiving funds if we shape the budget based on high revenues. Also, restricted funds were projected with flat revenue to account for any possible decreases in ADA. Also, expenditure increases were projected due to step and column advancements. And it is important to note that we're still operating under the current bargaining unit agreements. And the impacts of the Affordable Care Act are not included in the projections because we really don't know the figure of what that will be. Again, budget assumptions are the building blocks of the budget. All of these items are modified as things change, as legislation gives us more guidelines in what the numbers are. So now the multi-year projections. As far as revenues, the way that we projected revenue for LCFF is the ADA and unduplicated counts were major factors. Unduplicated counts come from the free and reduced price meal students. It's a percentage based on total enrollment to the number of kids who are eligible for these programs. Supplemental and concentration grants will be part of the total revenue in the objects 8010 and 8099, sorry. Revenues in the federal side of it, again, will be reduced by 8.2% for federal sequestration. Assumptions that restricted fund carryover, all of these multi-year projections in regards to revenues is also accounting that carryover amounts will be spent at the end of the year. And this is in regards to deferred revenue that also gets budgeted into the projections. QEIA funding will end in 15-16. Also, during this current year, we had a one-time state revenues of $800,000 for supplemental programs that got swept away with the shift in LCFF. And this year, we accounted for $1.8 million in revenues for Common Core, which is a one-time money and will not happen in 14-15 or 15-16 at all. Local revenues were projected at a constant rate. As far as expenses, there will be a decrease in expenses from 13-14 to 14-15 due to the fact that a lot of our construction projects from the earthquake will be completed this year, and we're projecting that we're not gonna continue those, or that will not overrun into the next year. It is important to note that other construction projects are not part of the multi-year projections. Also, again, the Affordable Care Act is not part of it either. Expenses from EIA will be transferred over to the general fund unrestricted columns in the year 14-15 and 15-16, assuming again that all the carryover is spent as per the current guidelines that we have. Expenses in the 4,000s and 5,000 series will be, they were increased by the cost of living adjustment, 1.8% in 15-16 and 2.3% in 15-16. Multi-year net increase and decrease in funding. Deficit spending continues throughout the years, permanently diminishing the reserves. The district will be able to meet its fiscal obligations during the current year and the next one with a positive ending fund balance. However, during fiscal year 15-16, the district will not be able to meet its fiscal obligations and end in a negative $4.9 million. In summary, spending deficits pose a burden on the ending fund balance, and as a consequence of this, also the cash flow struggles to keep a positive balance. Tran loans will be necessary for the current fiscal year and the next one. Preparations. We anticipate receiving more information in January, clarifying the guidelines of the new funding formula, and also the accountability plan that goes attached to the new formula. We also seek the direction from the Board of Trustees to decrease deficit spending and balance the budget. We also need to begin CSEA and ACT negotiations immediately and begin planning for the next year as early as the end of January 2014 using a zero-based approach. What are the next steps? Today is the approval of the first interim report. January 2014, attend the governor's budget workshop. January 31st is the cutoff date for the second interim report. In March of 2014 would be the approval of the report. May, there is the governor's May revise. Because we're qualified, we also need to submit a third interim report. If we had self-certified or self-positive, it would have been just the second. Also, budget adoption and approval of the LCAP have to happen before July 1st of 2013.
2014.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, typo. And before I end this presentation, I'd just like to say a couple more words. Unity. Unity means oneness or togetherness. With unity, there is likely to be more strength in opinion, more strength in action, and more strength in character. It's a fact that if one person tries his hands on some job, he will manage much less than what a group effort will achieve. Let us consider that in unity is the remedy which heals all bruises, big and small. It is this what helps us enjoy happy moments of life, in the moments of a family, in the sad moments of sickness and death. It is the unity of a well-wisher that makes the pleasure great and despair less. The secret power of unity is strength, which is built up by mutual trust, faith, and love for each other, and the oneness of a single well-formulated goal. The future of CUSD is in your hands, dear board members. The fiscal challenges we now have are a tangible reality. And it's also a reality that you have the sovereignty and influence to change things and prevent this unpleasant, unnecessary future from CUSD. If we genuinely work together, we can overcome this challenge and fix it for the generations to come. Accountability is not just a fiscal or political term. It is an everyday practice. Finally, I say to you as a CUSD employee, as a parent and member of this community, that I rest my trust in you that you will make the right decisions and bring us together to get CUSD back to solvency. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. At this time, we'll have any board members that have questions or comments or discussion on our first interim report.
I do have.
Ms. Aguilar.
I do have questions. I'm not as knowledgeable as my colleague to the left, but I do have some questions. In terms of what you were referenced in page 11, multi-year projections, specifically the bullet point of risks of not receiving funds if we shape the budget based on high revenue. So what am I to interpret that to mean that it's your observation or recommendation it's better to be conservative?
It was the recommendation, and that was the assumption used in this report. The Department of Finance projected a funding gap of 16%. However, school services has recommended us to do a 4.4%. And that's what it was used, a 4.4.
Okay. And duly noted that we are still operating with current bargaining units agreements, and we ended up assuming all, again, in terms of insurance costs, we're at the same level as we were year before last, correct?
Yes, that's according to the ACT agreement, which ends this June.
Correct. Now, in multi-year projections for revenue, in page 14, and you noted several sources of revenue. We do have an electric and gas service station at maintenance and operations. Where are we on that?
That one, I just emailed the provider of the program of the software. Right now, the holdup is with the financial organization that will be doing the collection of all the transactions from the card reader. The previous organization was Bank of America. However, they're not supporting the software that the company is using. So now I need to seek another financial organization that will support the current technology.
How long will that take?
I'm hoping that it'll be done before the end of the year.
There's no thing before. That's 6 months.
No, this year. I'm sorry, not the fiscal year. I'm sorry, this year.
Okay, that's better, because that's a source of income. Because that's one of 3 stations, if I'm not mistaken, right, Ms. Duarte? That are noted, one of such stations that are within the state. One of 3, you said?
No, I don't know about one of 3, but I know that we are on the map for having a station that is not currently being used at this time. I know the County of Imperial had one, or a City of El Centro, wherever it was stationed, but don't have it anymore. So the one that I know that is on the map is this one.
Okay.
But my I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My understanding was that the money was not provided to purchase the software for the swipe to be able to use the
card reader.
The card reader.
Yes, that was approved back then, and I think at this time it was just something of the company not being able to completely install the new software. But yes, it did get approved. It did get processed.
It did get processed? Okay.
I can go ahead and seek previous years. I know that the station has been out of service for quite some time. So I'll look into previous year revenues and give you an update on that.
Yeah, and just duly noted what you indicated, that our employee benefits are continue to rise.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all my observations and questions. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. Mr. Calderon, did you have something?
If you can you go back to the last page that you had? Okay, so we have a second interim report due in March and a third one before, well, actually on June 1st, and then the final approval is before July 1st. Right? So that means that the numbers that we are playing with, what the numbers that you just showed us right now, they could be changed, or it could be, the figures could change.
Definitely, and that's the main objective here, to show projections so that we can make the right decisions right now, so that can change and be more positive.
Exactly. So when do you think we're going to have a better, well, I guess I'm going to answer my own question after the governors may revise, right? We should have maybe something more solid.
Definitely, because the general fund at the state level, they will give us the final numbers, and they will tell us what the governor is willing to fund, and based on those numbers, then we can make adjustments for our budget adoption.
Okay. And as I understand, local control is not set in stone yet. Things could change.
The implementation, it is, as far as the things we know, but January would be the date that we get the final guidelines.
Exactly. And figures and how the formulas and how they're gonna work. And okay.
I'm very optimistic that our second interim will be a lot better.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Duarte. Mr. Ortega?
I can't read my numbers. I don't have my glasses.
No.
I just heard that we're going to be in the red.
We're going to be down 4-point-something million.
No, I don't have any comments at this time.
No. Mr. Ortega?
As far as, I'm just trying to decipher between I mean, I know what the words mean, restricted and unrestricted, but how do they apply, like in page 5?
On that one, it is a summary, a more detailed breakdown of each one as far as the division of what's restricted and unrestricted in the breakdown. It's on the actual report that's attached to the board agenda item.
Okay.
If I'm available, if you feel as a board that you want us to go line by line, I am available if that's the desire of the board.
Was that your only question, Ms. Ortega?
Yeah, for the time being, yeah.
Ms. Rodriguez, I have a question. If you could just clarify, and I'm looking right now at page 4 under challenges, in your first bullet says, once the plan is approved, Common Core one-time dollars will struggle to meet prioritized needs for et cetera, et cetera. How are you projecting this?
Well, that is pretty much one-time dollars that we already received this year. It's $1.8 million.
Correct.
However, it's still kind of not set in stone whether we can use them before the plan. The Common Core funding is requesting a plan that needs to be board approved, delineating how you're gonna spend the money. And the 3 areas is that professional development, materials and supplies, and technology. However, we can spend them right now, and the projections are based that we got the money this year and that we will spend them this year. The 1.8. However, the plan, they're still in the works.
Correct. So 2 different issues that we need the plan. The plan needs to be done, and money will stream in. A different revenue will stream in, and these one-time dollars have already been received by the district.
Those are in our bank account already.
Okay, and those one-time dollars, I'm struggling to understand what you wrote here, because says once the plan is approved, correct me if I'm wrong, it's my understanding that the one-time dollars don't need to have the plan approved before they're spent. Is that incorrect?
That's the piece that is kind of confusing. I can't give you a definite. I've heard that the plan has to be approved before spending, but then in other areas they'll say that we can spend, and then once the plan is approved, kind of put those expenses into those funds.
Okay, so is there anything being done now, or has there anything been done since those dollars have been received to start working on a plan to spend those dollars?
I know that they have started. I know that they have started working on the plan and working on the technology piece of finding out exactly what is it that's needed at the sites, so that when we're ready to finalize the plan, it'll reflect the actual needs of the sites.
So these one-time dollars won't be spent until the plan is done, which is next summer?
We're not talking about the local control accountability
No, the plan for the one-time dollars.
For the Common Core.
And is there a date for when that plan will be done?
The state has given us up to the end of 2014-15 to spend the monies.
Okay. And as far as deficit spending, again, under where are we? It seems sort of an ongoing, pretty grim pattern that we're seeing. And, you know, I heard you at the end, some of the things you said where the responsibility, I think, lies on all of us to see this happen. Is there some sort of plan where on your end, when we have things come before us, there's something being told to us, aside from the retreats where we're now being given more financial information that I think makes sense for us as a board, or your offer for us to come and you go line by line through these things. When things are before us, at what point does your department and this board sort of confer, and it would be in this forum, where we are told, listen, approving this or that and that is ultimately going to lead us to continued deficit spending?
Again, one of the preparation bullet points was to seek direction from you board members to implement certain types of internal controls. We do have internal controls where, as far as our department, at the business services department, we process what gets approved, and we also make sure that there's funding available at the time. However, it is up to the and site administrators to plan ahead, to plan for what's in the future, because I don't spend time at the sites, and so for me it would be hard to project on their behalf for actual expenditures that come on a day-to-day basis. So I know that the LCAP will alleviate some of this burden, because the LCAP, it would be like your grocery list. You have to have it in there in order to spend it.
So you're saying then those controls don't exist right now? There's some disconnect between the sites and what happens here?
There is fiscal control, however, programmatic-wise, it's hard to say, because that's at the discretion of the site administration. And just an example, if right now they're saying we're going to go with an adoption, we'll fund that because the monies are available. But let's say in March, the administration at the site changes to a different textbook adoption and buys different textbooks. Maybe the funding's not there anymore because the change was made in the middle of the year.
And at some point, in that process, who draws a red flag and says, you know, this is going to lead us to more deficit spending?
It would be up to a committee. It would be to kind of, it's part of the strategies that we really need to come up with.
Okay. I mean, I just see that if part of the projection keeps continues to be trans loans, and that's what's going to get us to, I mean, that's just sort of now written into these reports that the trans are what keeps us semi afloat. It just seems.
And the trend, it's not so much for the ending fund balance, is for the cash, to make sure that we can meet our fiscal obligations and meet our payroll.
And under your, I have one more question under your, and I'm looking at page 18, 14, 15, 15, 16, preparations. Are these things that are these just your suggestions, or are these things that are being actively planned, except for beginning negotiations immediately? That sounds like more of a suggestion, but your other bullets.
Yeah, these bullets are more of what needs to happen in order for us to prepare.
Okay, so the last one, it says begin fiscal year 14-15 budget planning as early as the end of January using the zero-based approach. Is that something that direction needs to be given for that to happen? Seems more something that would just organically happen in order to get us out of the red.
You're correct on that one. That one, I will take it upon myself to start working on it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, those were my questions. Does anybody else have?
I don't have any questions.
I think Ms. Blackton has something. Go ahead.
Just hearing on the comments that you made as to at what point we start putting this forward, and I heard a comment that by you that that a committee would put it. There is no committee currently right now. I mean, I think the local control training that, or workshop that we went to was, we set goals and objectives, and it's the administration that rolls out those goals and objectives. Therefore, at what point, because I know we haven't, is when do we put those goals and objectives to work? By leadership should be putting it out to the principals and say, okay, this is what the goals and objectives are. This is how we're going to roll it out. I think that's the task of the administration to do that.
Right.
And us is just to set the goals and objectives.
You set policy.
Yeah. And how it's done, administration has to do that. But that's one of the things that Norma and I have been saying, is that are we going to allow the principals to manage their own finances, or is the district going to do it? Because apparently we're just spending as we're getting money, and there is no structure.
Right.
And this local control is not going to work for this district, because we're back to where we were 3 years ago. And I can't see the numbers because I forgot my glasses in my car, but this is nothing new. We knew we were going to be in negative balance in the future, and it's up to us to make sure that we control the local funding here at this level. But I guess what we need is, and the principals needs, direction from the business department as to how that funding is going to be rolled out to the school sites. And the school, and what I'm hearing is that the principals should be ready to say, this is what I need for next year.
Right.
And that way they can be provided the adequate amount of money. And if not, then business has to let them know, the financing department has to let them know, this will work, but this won't.
Right.
But nobody is sitting together. If there's a committee that needs to be made, I think we need to bring that forward to an early board meeting next year so that we can start doing that and make people accountable for those actions, because we're going to be sitting here next year in December and we're going to be in worse than now.
Seems that way, yeah.
I've been saying for a while, go back to the table to negotiate, and nothing has happened. We're already half a year, and we've rolled over, I think, 3 years with CSEA, and we can't get the ball rolling. So this is the eye-opener. And if we don't do it, we don't do something, then...
We're going to be the same position we were 2 years ago.
Well, we need to look for
Or
other
worse.
avenues.
Right.
So,
Is there any further discussion from anyone? No, I think it was okay. Otherwise, can we entertain a motion for the first interim report? Oh, sorry, that was a presentation. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Move on, we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Ms. Andres.
Yes, tonight's report is actually rather brief, and the first thing on my report is to publicly recognize and request a few seconds of silence for Mr. Pete Alvarado. He is the father of several of our current and former staff members. Father of Miss Angie Ochoa, Miss Rosemary Pazel, Mr. Ray Alvarado, and he has passed away. And as a matter of fact, we have several of our own staff members attending his viewing this evening. And so just ask for a few moments of silence. Thank you. Also, part of ongoing matters of emphasis for at least a couple of our board members has been parent trainings and the such at our school sites. And as a matter of fact, there have been 2 cohorts of parent training groups that have graduated, so to speak. One cohort from Kennedy Gardens and the other one from Main School. And they were through Project Juntos and IVROP, and it's scientifically based approaches on how to involve parents with education. Also, our FRC coordinator, Ms. Betty Nunez, and our assistant superintendent, Hortensia Mendaris, will be are planning to host a parent training conference in February of 2014 for parents within our district. Also, with regards to the IVROP and Project Juntos parent trainings, they're seeking into going into different schools throughout our district in January so that more parents can be trained. As you know, we had a board retreat a couple of weeks ago that was very informative and well attended by all of our board members and some members of our associations. And so thank you for that. Also, just a reminder that January 6th is our staff development, our 4th staff development session for this school year. And there will be it'll be a student-free day. Only our staff, teachers, and classified will be, and administrators obviously will be here at work, but it will be a student-free day on January the 6th. Also, I would like to remind everyone, and I'm not sure if Ms. Duran or Ms. Harvey or Ms. Nunez have any tickets still available, but the Calexico Children's Coalition will be presenting a Holiday Dreams and Wishes event at, hopefully I pronounced it correctly, Club Luhu, and it's this Thursday. I believe tickets are $40. And so the proceeds benefit the Calexico Police Department Kids and Badges program. And I know that our Associated Calexico teachers are also very involved with this coalition this year. So if you haven't purchased a ticket, I encourage you all to do so. And that is all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Ms. Ambris?
Yes, ma'am.
I've got a question in terms of the parents training. When I first brought the matter to the board's attention and to your view, one of the things that I reported to this board and you was the fact that parents were asking for the parent training that had existed at Willie Moreno Junior High, specifically one that was presented by Ms. Rosa Lopez, Lucio Padilla, Mr. I'm sorry? No, it was not Pique. It was a program, parent program, parent training program that was developed at Willie Moreno Junior High, and I was an employee at that time when that was in place. And I did ask that if we could go back to those specific. It was Mr. Raso also was one of them. So and I don't see that happened. I don't know where. I mean, I understand and I appreciate, that as you mentioned, that it's scientifically based, but that wasn't what parents were asking for. That's one thing, and I'd like to know at some point if we will provide what the parents were asking for. That's one. Number two was also one of the things that I asked, and I brought to the attention of this board was there is a need to somehow provide a parent conference, and I've been asking since June or July about this, and we're already in December, and I don't see any movement towards this. So I would like to again bring it to the board's attention that I've had parents ask me, well, you said it was going to happen this fall, and it's not happening. So is it not going to happen? Is this something? Are we handling it per site or so forth? Thank you.
I've been made aware that parent conference will take place in February of 2014.
Okay.
And if I may, Betty Nunez for the Family Resource Center. We do have, and just to add to Ms. Ambris, it's actually CAP Council is the other entity that comes in. They are grant funded, and that's the Children and Parent Council, and they are located in El Centro. What they do is provide different sessions. The court system actually makes our parents go to these trainings by law. What we're doing is providing our parents the trainings for free. Meaning that it's not mandated to them, but they do have to commit to the sessions in order for them to get the certificate of completion. Through SAR process and other venues that we have as intervention and prevention, we offer these programs for our parents. Again, research-based, and they are coming in because it's grant-funded through them. What we provide is the actual book for them, and it's in Spanish and in English, depending on what the parent needs. For IVROP, Project Juntos, we have Project Padres as well. What they do after a couple of sessions, the parent and or teenager 17 and above need to apply to get into the program. They come into our schools. It could also be on Saturdays at the FRC or at Calexico High School with principals involved. They come in. Sometimes it starts at 8:30 or 9 up to 2:30 or 3. They are offered a snack and or a meal depending on what they have if it's going longer. There they are provided with a $70 gift certificate after it is completed. In regards to Ms. Rosa Lopez and the two programs that were being run a few years ago, we have talked to them about what they did and what they do. They still are going to give me the curriculum. We are looking over at curriculum. Anything that changed, anything that's mandated by law or anything like that has changed within what parents need to know and how to start gearing their children up to going to college, like the college initiative. We are going to be looking into that. I know that at the beginning of the school year, we gave the principals some insight of what they could do with their budget, and if they could budget it into their school plan on having parent liaisons and or a project that could be brought up. And I know Ms. Rosa Lopez did come up to me and we talked about it. I still have yet to see the difference between the two programs that were run a while back. I do and have access to some information that Ms. Dana Sue used to have in her old trailer over here. We are going over the different things that she had. We did start up also bringing in other entities, behavioral health with the alcohol and drug programs. We have started at Cesar Chavez, correct, Mr. Norberto? Yes, the sixth graders have, and we're going to do that through all sixth grades, through all elementary, but because that is our biggest school, we started with them by themselves. Our original plan was going to 3 schools at the same time. There is more funding for behavioral health, and they will be coming into our schools. So other than that, I will welcome you to come over to the FRC. We could go ahead and talk about the different things that we're doing, and I could provide more numbers and the director's numbers too, and we'll welcome anybody to come into our next parent training so that you're there, and I would love to have 2 or 3 of you there at the different sites so that parents also know who you are if they're not coming here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to our association comments. We have, I think, Ms. Harvey from ACT.
Mr. Cooper isn't here tonight. He had another commitment. My name is Diana Harvey. I'm with ACT, and I've been in this district a long time. History is repeating itself with the report from the interim, but I see more history being repeated also in the fact that our department is down, our business department is down by 1 person. We're going to go to qualified budget for the first interim. History repeats itself. And we're also going to go back to, she said zero budgets, and everybody needs to know what that is and what's going to be entailed in that. But that's really starting all over again. When I look at the interim report, and or not the interim, but when I look at the agenda, we've talked about this and talked about it, and you have it on the consent agenda just to approve all those trainings and contracts and everything like that. And maybe some of you come in and sit down and do some more discussion, but you know, really, it should be on the agenda. This money for this contract or this money for this SES is coming from where and how much is left every time, if we're going to really do this right. The other thing is the checkers. You know, they came and made a long presentation, and I realized it was long and it was boring in some parts. But the whole point of it was, if we could contract with them, there would be some savings. So if we're going to be conservative, we need to look at places where we can save. And if that's a place to save, let's go there. When the man came to present about the data that's needed for the ACA program, and it was tabled, and I don't see it on the agenda again. And that will be a big fine if we don't project our numbers right for our employees and who should qualify for insurance or not. So there's another little factor. But I think the biggest one for me right now is you're running the department with 1 person down. So the young lady that's here, she's doing a fine job. Towards the end of her presentation, I felt like she needed help. When we come up here and we speak as teachers, you know, we can't ask for you to give us a lot of help. We have to figure it out ourselves. When we go in the classroom and we have a job to do, we have to figure it out ourselves. We don't have people cleaning our rooms anymore. We have to figure that out ourselves. We have the playgrounds that are maybe tended to, maybe not. And we have to do a lot of more things ourselves to be more productive. Right now, a lot of teachers want to start tutoring. The money's all been held up. Our curriculum department wants us to roll out a new program of testing the kids for not accountability, but to measure what they don't know. It's called the MAP. But I liken it to a measuring tape of what the kids don't know. And Dr. Estrada, my former student, has got us all trained, starting to get us trained in this program. Now, that's great. One more thing for us to do. And then I'm listening to, well, one more thing we need to take away. You know, we need to take away from the teachers, but one more thing you need to do. That's kind of hard to listen to. But in the meantime, we are doing wonderful things as teachers. And yes, we have that coalition going on. There's 300 tickets out there for sale. The teachers were given 210 to sell. And we weren't given it, we volunteered. We volunteered to take 210 tickets and sell them. And if we do that, which we're almost there, thank you, Lily, for being such a good organizer, then 100 students in Calexico will benefit from a nicer Christmas than they would have had. 210 tickets. We did that out of our goodness of our hearts because this is our town. This is the kids we take care of. I think if Mr. Cooper will get this information on the first interim report, he'll put it in the data processor through CTA, and we'll spit it out, and we'll probably get some different facts and figures. But we'll come up with that, and we'll sit down and talk with you and work on this. But right now, history is repeating itself, but in more ways than just numbers. Okay, personnel. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey. CSCA, Mr. Rodriguez.
Good evening. Good evening, School Board. Congratulations to the new School Board President, Vice President. We hope to have a very positive relationship with CSCA and the School Board. ACT is always a little bit hard to follow sometimes. But yeah, some very good points are made by ACT as far as the belly report. You guys got a presentation, American Fidelity comes up here, they tell you, we're looking at something that has to be done. It's important to get done. You don't want to get fined because it's not done. And once again, it's not on the agenda. We're not moving on it. Same thing with the with Checkers. I sat through 2 presentations with them. I was here when they made the presentation to the board. They made a very compelling argument. The most compelling part was they could save us a lot of money. Anytime somebody tells me they can save me money, I take them very seriously. Again, not on the agenda, not moving forward. I've been coming to school board meetings since I was 15 years old. I was brought up being very interested in the school board. And I've seen some school boards that move, and I've seen some school boards that stand still as if nothing really matters. And I don't think that's the school board that you guys want to be. But when these items are not being acted upon and they're important, then something's wrong. I remember many years ago, superintendent, very, very intelligent man, used to always tell us, in order to be successful at Calexico Unified, you have to have a good sense of our history. And whenever I meet with board members, and you know, I mean, I like to talk a lot, and I talk about what used to be, what happened in the district 20 years ago, because I think it's important. I think it's important that you know what happened 20 years ago, because it gives you insight as to what can happen 20 years from now. And what goes around comes around. I think we're headed in the same direction. You're echoing the same sentiment that we're echoing. I mean, we're looking at next December being in the same place we are now. And I think you're all movers. I think you're all shakers. I think the reason you wanted to get elected is because you wanted to make a difference, and I feel it. But you've got to rely on administration to lead you that way. And I also remember a board member about 10 years ago that said the only thing unified about Calexico is the name. They were talking about how every school had its own budget. Every school decided on what was priority at that particular school. That particular night that the statement was made, they were talking about textbooks. And the board member says, well, I don't see what the problem is. You need 83 textbooks at this school, and you got 200 over here. Move them over there. And the principal gets up and says, oh, no, that's part of my budget. What's unified about it? We need to work together. And CSCA wants to work together in a positive manner. As far as negotiations, the board echoes that you want to move on negotiations right away. Well, so do we. I told you last time about the letter where impasse was denied. I gave a copy of the letter today to one of the board members. We're ready to move. I'm ready to make a suggestion to the board on negotiations. Get rid of your attorney. Your attorney was here, that same attorney was here about 10, 12 years ago. Ms. Duarte was part of my negotiating team back then. And when we had gotten so close to getting an agreement, but the attorney kept throwing the ands and buts and who whats. And then he said, I have an appointment, I have to leave. So the attorney left. And then our labor rep said, well, I got to go too. So they left. And right as we were walking out, Ms. Duarte said, well, wait a minute. We're so close. How about another hour? Let's see if we can break the barrier and sign something. Superintendent was part of the negotiating team. He said, yeah, okay, fine. 45 minutes later, we walked out with an agreement. So here's my suggestion. Don't bring an attorney to the table. Bring the superintendent, bring your business director, bring your human resource director, and bring your M&O director. Let's sit down, let's work out a deal. Let's work out something positive so we can get this ball rolling and start moving forward. That's all I got to say. Have a happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have comments from the public, and we have one. We have Ms. Annette Butner, representing Imperial County Office of Education. And Ms. Butner, congratulations on being sworn in yesterday on the county board.
Thank you. Well, I'm official now, and I just came to say hello. And as a trustee now, I want to work with the school district in for the better of our students. I want to move forward, and I want the district to have a healthy budget and to work with you as much as I can. And if there's anything, any issues that come up, any concerns, let me know. I will be glad to help. And anything that I should know, that you think I should know, let me know. You know, I'm new. I'm in the process of learning, but I have a lot of enthusiasm and willingness to work, and I know a lot of people. And anyways, I'm here to help. So anything that I can do for the district, let me know. I'm here. Obviously, my heart is here in the district where my children are. But anyways, just let me know what I can do, and I'm here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butner.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Moving on to letter H, our consent agenda. Is there anything on here that anyone would like pulled for discussion? Mr. Ortega? No. Ms. Duarte?
Item 3.
Number 3.
I'd like to.
I'm sorry, item 4.
Not 3, but 4?
Yeah. Bear with me, I don't have my glasses.
5-2.
5-2? 4 and 5.
Is that all?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Ms. Aguilar?
No, I agree with 4 and 5.
Mr. Calderon?
I'm going to say 5 as well, but that's okay. And 22.
Okay, so we can have a motion to approve consent agenda with the exception of items number 4, 5, and 22.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Aguilar. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Calderon. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving consent agenda with the exception of items 4, 5, and 22, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Item number 4, agreement with Nyhart Service 2012-2013. Ms. Rodriguez.
Dear board members, the Nyhart Service Agreement is a company that provided us services with analyzing an actuarial report. What this is the long-term liabilities that we have on our retirees. What they calculate is the amount of the benefit that we currently have as far as insurance that we pay out on a monthly basis. They also analyze the age and the longevity of each of the retirees. And based on those factors, they would let the district know what the long-term liability can be. As of the report, the results are that at the end of June 30th of 2013, the liability is $40 million long term. It's not something that's going to be spent right now. But based on the age of the retirees and the benefits that we currently pay out, that would be the total cost of our long-term liability.
Is this for our current retirement only, or all the employees?
All the active early retirees and retirees.
Okay.
Everybody from June 30th of 2013 and behind.
That's 40 million?
$40 million, yes. And this is also part of our criteria and standards questions, so that the counties and the state can see how we're gonna do in the future, as far as of our liabilities.
40 million for the life of their retirement? Is that
Based on the current rates of our premiums, let's say if our premium was to go down, the long-term liability would also go down.
It's not going to go down.
That's not going to go down.
They're making more money as they retire.
Just thinking wishfully.
Your positive thinking is admirable, but
well, but
not
insurance.
realistic.
But if insurance went down, then.
No, this is retirement.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't they get retirement benefits?
Yeah.
Based on the active premiums, yes.
So if insurance went down, the retirees, their insurance costs will also go down. So it could a little bit. So all right.
Well, the problem is that there's no negotiations for retirees. The negotiations takes place for the current employees, so whatever the retirees have currently now, it's till the age of 62 or 65?
65.
65.
Or 10 years.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
but if we pay, but if the cost of carrying their insurance goes down, I mean, they're still getting the same insurance, but the cost of us providing the insurance goes down, doesn't it? So,
Well-
if we're paying $18,000 per employee in insurance, and now we get it at 12,000, I mean, wishful thinking, right? So
For 6
then-
months?
Yeah, for 5 years. So then, for those retirees, it will be the same thing, right? The insurance,
Yes.
so it could potentially go down.
Yes.
Potential.
Potentially. That's all.
Ideally.
Ideally.
So this has
Thank
been
you.
done?
Potentially.
This is just for payment purposes?
This is for GASB, the generally
Yeah,
accounting
but this is
principles.
for payment purposes?
Yes.
Okay, because it's been done already?
Yes, it was done.
Okay.
Anything else on this, Ms. Barte? Any other questions, anybody else? No, seeing none, do we have a motion on item number 4 to approve NIHEART service agreement for 2012-2013?
Well, I have, we're approving the contract. When do they give us the final report, or do you have the? Okay. Please, thank you. That's it.
Motion?
I motion to approve.
There's a motion by Ms. Duarte to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second by Ms. Aguilar. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor to approve item number 4, say aye.
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 Aye, motion passes 5-0 unanimously. Number 5, item number 5, agreement, workplace analysis and impact study. Ms. Washington. Ms. Duarte, I think
Oh.
Ms. Aguilar and Mr. Calderon had recommended to pull this.
Yeah, my question is in why does this need to go out to a contracted out? This is not something that can be done internally?
No, because, the Affordable Care Act is a fairly new initiative. Usually when new initiatives comes down to from the CDE or the state to school districts, it's usually funneled through the county. So the county office will have like a workshop that they can invite local school districts to learn what they're supposed to do. But in this case, the Affordable Care Act is not going through the county. They're leaving it up to the local school districts to come up with a plan of what they're going to do. And since this is something fairly new, it's not like the LCFF where you can go to a workshop and learn what to do. I've watched a lot of webinars. I've read a lot, talked to a broker, Keenan. So we're basically, it's like the blind leading the blind. There's no model to follow, so because this is fairly new.
So the way it's laid out in fiscal impact, it appears to me that you're looking at, comparing a proposal from Keenan and Associates and another one from American Fidelity. But isn't the Keenan and Associates already built into their services?
For the workplace analysis study? No, this is additional. This will be additional.
So, also a follow-up or a supplementary question. Did we not receive a $10,000?
Yeah, we did receive a $10,000 check from Anthem Blue Cross for the wellness program.
Okay. So why isn't that applied towards that quote, or is it separate, or is it from the same source?
The quote? No, it's a different source. They're just giving it back to the district because currently we don't have a wellness program. So Anthem gave us money to use that towards our wellness program, the $10,000.
What are we using the $10,000 for?
It's just sitting there. We haven't decided what we're going to use it for.
So theoretically, you could use it to apply it to Keenan and Associates.
Right. And also...
And that would bring it down to a comparable, you'd be comparing apples and apples, right?
Right. And also, Keenan did give the district back $20,000 that hasn't been used. But that $20,000 is from our broker fees, because the way our contract is set up is that the cap is $185,000. Then anything above that comes back to the district. So the money that came back to the district this year from Keenan was $20,000 plus this $10,000 from the wellness program.
I'll defer to Ms. Duarte if you had any further questions.
So the proposal here is to go with Keenan and?
No, remember the last board meeting, I made a recommendation that we go with the American Fidelity, and it was tabled. And in your comments, you mentioned Keenan. So what I decided this time was to put both programs forward and have the board vote on what they want, because the board has the final say.
So I see that Keenan program costs roughly about 40 grand, and the American Fidelity program, and I remember that because I asked them the question that if they mess up, would they cover the fees, the liability fees? And they said yes, and it's recorded. So I got them on that. So it says 65 cents per employee, $750 per month.
That's for the software program. So approximately, if you look at the Keenan, the workplace analysis study for Keenan, how much it's going to cost the district is $19,250. If we go with the American Fidelity program, it will be $9,000. But if you add the software program, it will come to approximately about 17,000, which will lead us into January of 2015, when all the penalties are going to kick into place. And staff is recommending that we use that software program, because right now, nobody really knows what, this is fairly new, so nobody knows what the study looks like or what is going to, what's going to play out. So
my question is, you have Keenan here for 40 grand, and you have for workplace analysis, standard workplace analysis, for rerun of workplace analysis and additional impact study.
Okay.
So what Keenan is offering and what American Fidelity is offering are those two things, those two packages comparable?
Yeah, they are comparable. So the Keenan study is $19,250 for the initial study. Okay, so let's say in about 3 months you hire more employees, then you have to do another study. So if you do another study, that's what the extra fees are. So if you do another, in a couple of months, the district decides to engage in another workplace analysis study, then it's going to cost us another $11,000 extra.
So where's the second running of analysis with American Fidelity?
Well, American Fidelity told us that the $9,000 covers the whole year.
The whole year.
And so they will guide you.
They will repeat it for those same 9,000?
Right. That's what they told us. And they told us they also have another tier, which is their platinum.
So why isn't that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but why isn't that listed?
No, they showed us.
That was in the presentation that we had in our last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's also on their contract if you click on one of those PowerPoints. So it depends on what the board wants to do. I would recommend as a staff member and as a practitioner that we go small. Be very conservative, because this is a fairly new program. Nobody knows what is going on. If you're listening to the news, even though they've kind of gotten the federal website together, but it's like a moving target, and it's going to be like that until maybe about a year from now, which is January 2015. So I will go conservative. This is just my personal opinion. Then, when the law, the kinks, the bugs are worked out, we can always do something fancy. But again, the board has the final say, in terms. But that $19,250 would actually buy us the whole package that American Fidelity is offering, including the software. Less than that. So it's up to what the board wants to do.
Yeah, I just think we're not in a position where we can afford those fines that we're bound to get if we're not prepared.
Not after the interim
first
report.
interim report that was really grim,
Right.
and I agree that we should be conservative. And if there are no other questions from board members, we might want to call for the question.
But we do need to do a study, because right now we don't know where we are, and if Ms. Rodriguez is projecting the Affordable Care Act, she doesn't have a number to plug into the budget. So we need to
Right,
do
and
that
she needs
study
this
and figure out where we are before we can, project.
We're looking at item number 5. I'm going to motion to approve through American Fidelity.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion by myself to approve American Fidelity and a second by Mr. Calderon. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Washington.
Go call them.
We have item number 22, authorization to seek proposals for security patrol services submitted by Ms. Carolina Rodriguez, and I.
Just a question. Did we advertise this contract out in the community, or is it just a renewal? It's just renewing the contract.
Seeking proposals.
Seeking proposals, but I only see one.
Well, we're going to seek proposals
barely-
for security patrol. Yeah, because the current one
Authorized on
ends
RFP.
December 31st.
This is not the name of the company.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, because the Security Patrol Services ends on December 31st. Okay, so we're seeking. Okay, I'm sorry. My mistake. I'm sorry. Their contract ends on December 31st. Okay. All right.
So, yeah, what's recommended in this agenda item is that what we had is a Security Patrol Services from July 1st of 2012, and it will end on December 31st of 2013.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay, I'm sorry, my mistake.
That's okay.
Their contract ends on the 31st. That's why.
And the name of the current company kind of resembles that.
Okay. Okay.
You're good?
Yes. Sorry. I make the motion to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Calderon to approve item number 22, the authorization to seek proposals for Security Patrol Services.
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Duarte. Any further discussion? And for the record, Ms. Aguilar is not, has left the boardroom for a minute. We have a first by Mr. Calderon, a second by Ms. Duarte, and we can hold our vote for Ms. Aguilar.
We can wait.
Mira, when I go to like a note, any note, can you see? Okay, so I do that. And then, whatever. And then when I go to save it, it's on tiny. I don't know how to fix it. I can't even see. No, it just, I don't know what I did to it right now. Ms. Aguilar is back. Ms. Aguilar, we had a motion by Mr. Calderon to approve item number 22, the authorization to seek proposals for Security Patrol Services, and a second by Ms. Duarte. Is there any further discussion on this item?
None.
Okay, so seeing none, we can vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Our next item is informational only, the accounts payable pre-list by Ms. Carolina Rodriguez. And you should have that packet in front of you. It's a pink one.
I have one.
Mr. Calderon.
No, I don't need it. I had it somewhere.
It's right here.
I guess I can just start by, since this is fairly new, it's a different way of presenting the pre-list. I guess I'll just report the total expenses. We had two pre-lists in the month of November, one dated November 12th and the other one dated November 19th. On the November 12th, there was total expenses of almost $104,000. 94 of them came from the general fund, and almost 10,000 came from the child nutrition fund. I'm not sure if you have questions in regards to that one. And on the 19th, total expenses paid was $1.6 million. And one of the reasons in that one, I believe that we paid our insurance for November. Let me check. Yes, we did. And that alone is $980,000.
Are there any questions on the pre-list?
The item protected insurance for $199,000 for workers' comp. That is the 6th installment of 12 payments.
What page is?
Page 7 of 10. I think it's the second pre-list.
Okay. That one, yes. Again, this is based on a calculation based on our payroll, and the annual was almost $2.4 million. So that's divided by the 12 months, and that's why it's 6 of 12.
So we're going on fiscal year?
On yes. Yes, so it's for the month of December.
So although our work comp has lowered, we're still paying the cost based on last year's numbers?
And that is correct.
Or that's the insured price?
Based on the utilization review, the rate came out to 5.66% of our total payroll. And in that calculation, that's how they came up with the 2.4. For next year, now that our workers' comp is going down, I'm foreseeing that rate will go down as well.
One question, you noted that workman's comp percentages are going down. Do we have an ongoing programs to encourage to bring down the numbers?
Yes, there is a return to work program where we monitor the progress of the employee, making sure that all of the appointments are completed, that all of the therapy or medical treatment is completed.
What about preventative?
Preventative, yes. I know that the HR department is working on doing a lot of training. I know they just completed the campus securities training during the staff development days. And they do have safety schools through the Keenan and Associates web portal. And they also do those trainings for every new hire.
Besides those type of trainings, how about per site? Do we have a committee? Do we have a team that goes and checks sites for, again, preventative? Because we've had situations where, people have tripped over cords, cables, things like that.
Yes, it would be a matter of the site administration to schedule it with HR and.
But we don't have it in place right now.
We don't have something that's already scheduled, but it is available.
That might be something that we should look at as a district.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Anything else on the pre-list? No. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Moving on to item J, we have the superintendent's recommended approval of the following items. Ms. Ambriz.
Okay, for the first item there, it's that if you wish to nominate board members to be part of the CSBA Delegate Assembly, if any board member expresses any interest, this would be the time to do so.
Nominate Norma Aguilar.
Ms. Aguilar?
They don't elect me, Ruth. I respectfully decline.
You've always wanted representation for us.
And that's why I'll nominate you.
I don't have the time, I'm sorry.
Same here. I nominate Ms. Zuno Vizcarra.
Yeah, I will second that motion.
That's not a motion. You know, unless anyone else is really dying to do it, Mr. Ortega.
I'm with your nomination.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, but if I get to go on all these trips and you guys are envious later, no. Well, thank you all for
They get boring after a while.
Well, then thank you for throwing my name in there. All right, well, thank you for that, I think.
We don't need to vote on it?
No, it's
Okay.
just, you just
Just
add your name
nomination.
to the
Okay.
nomination, and I'll find
Cool.
out if you vote for me or not.
Hotline.
Yes, item number 2, Rockwood Elementary earthquake repair.
And that would be that the board approve the payment of $750 to Heartline Inspection Services, and this got to do with the flooring at Rockwood School, correct? Any questions for Mr. Martinez?
Mr. Martinez, just maybe a brief history on this?
On this particular project, Raul Martinez, facilities. In regards to this particular project, it's room 9 and 10 that they repoured all the concrete inside those classrooms, and it was decided not to go with some sort of agreement because it was such a small project here. So we went with the inspections from Mr. Hartline at an hourly rate of $75 an hour instead of going through a whole agreement with them due to the size of the project.
Okay.
So did they put new flooring, or is it just the inspection?
It was the inspection of the new flooring that the contractor did for the earthquake work that they did at Rockwood Elementary. So there was a contractor that came in, they broke all the concrete from room 9 and 10, they repoured all the concrete, and we needed the inspection service, the concrete pour there. So we have new foundations, new flooring, new VCT tile in both those rooms.
Is that the rooms where Mr. De La Rosa, no, it's son. Oh. Not Mr. De La Rosa, was it? One of the teachers was walking and he fell in the hole or something?
Well, it had a big oval, a crown in the foundation, right on the slab, and you could actually, if you were on a seat that had wheels on it, you'd roll to one side or the other. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. So it's done.
Completed. Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Duarte, a second by Ms. Aguilar. Any further questions or discussion? Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you. So seeing none, can we, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 3, property damage.
And this is that the trustees accept a claim from Roberto and Laura Mendoza for an accident that occurred on November 20th at the Calexico High School parking lot entrance. And Ms. Rodriguez has more information regarding that, should you have any questions.
I guess quick summary is that we're we're presenting this before you because the amount of the damages or the expense of the damages is below the threshold of $5,000 for us to be able to put it in as a claim through our insurance. The parent submitted 3 quotes, and I think that the lowest was $1,600.
And one of our employees hit the car with the food service car?
That's still not resolved because apparently, from the pictures that I saw, the car was parked maybe in the red zone. However, the truck, it's still unresolved.
Well, how can we pay a claim if we don't know if it was the district's?
Did you read the report?
Oh, no.
Read the report.
Okay, so then the answer is yes.
Well,
Read the claim form. Was a police report taken?
From the emails, I believe was there one, Ms. Embrace?
I believe so.
Yes.
It's not. Is it attached here? Because I don't see it.
I don't know that it's attached, but I do believe that there is something. I haven't signed it. It's not attached. I would have to look for that.
Oh, it says here that apparently the parent was driving as well. So
what we have before us is to approve payment on this claim as it is, and probably not so much to investigate.
Well, but one question, just like Ms. Duarte asked, the person that hit this person was whoever hit her. Was it our employee?
Yes, it was our district truck.
Oh. All right.
Any additional discussion from anyone else on the board? Seeing none, can we get a motion on item number 3, property damage?
I move to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Mr. Calderon. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second by Mr. Ortega? Any closing discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving this item signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Next item, fiscal year 2013-14 first interim report.
And we recommend that the Board of Trustees approve the first interim report.
Is there any discussion on this item from any member of the board based on the report that we heard, on the presentation we heard earlier by Ms. Rodriguez? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve fiscal year 13-14, the first interim report?
I move to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Calderon. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Aguilar.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No.
Aye. Motion carries 4-1. Ms. Duarte voting no. Move on to item K, board members' closing comments, and we'll start all the way to my left with Mr. Ortega.
Well, after the presentation of the interim report, it seems to be a dire situation, and we have a lot of work ahead of us. With that being said, and this being the last meeting of the year, I'd just like to wish everybody happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Ms. Duarte?
I'd like to start with the good news. Happy holidays to everybody. And Merry Christmas, actually. No, just attended the CASBA conference, and there was a lot of information to absorb, a lot of new information that was given out, and a lot about us taking local control of the funding. And so they tell us, like Ms. Aguilar said, they tell us that they're going to give us something with no strings attached, but then they say, you got to do this, this, and this in order to get it. So
where's the local control?
So there's not really too much of a local control, but we do have to, I walked in at the end of the interim presentation, and that's one of the reasons why I voted no on it, because I didn't hear the presentation, and I didn't have my glasses to study it. But we do have to be more fiscal responsible, and we have said that we're going to tie our agendas to the goal and objectives, but if that is not being passed forward and there is no actual plan, what are we attaching it to? You know, so there is still expenditures from the past, and we're still kind of doing business like we were before, just approving at the table. So I myself will be very careful this year, and hope that we don't get to next year's report in the red. Be more diligent about it. And if we need to do that, well, I know it needs to be part of the plan on that committee for the local control, where it's the board, the administration, the unions, the parents, and the students involved. We need to get a move on that before we're stuck in 2014-15 with no local control funding plan. And that's it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ms. Duarte. Ms. Aguilar?
First of all, I'd like to echo Ms. Duarte's comments in terms of the conference. Well, first, before the conference, I want to say that I was very pleased to attend the response to interval training, and which also talked about LCFF and a Common Core implementation. I think I can tell you, as for the first time in my time here on the board, I attended a training that I felt that it really hit home. It really it opened my eyes as to what goes on in the classroom, having that conversation. I think that's really important for us to hear, for us to see, for us to be part of that conversation. I think it's important for board members to attend those type of trainings whenever possible, because then it gives us that common basis for being able to talk to a teacher who's got the boots on the ground and understand exactly what's going on in there. In terms of the conference, there was some workshops, but I can honestly say that I don't think it was as effective or as useful as the one that we attended last year in San Francisco. The quality of the workshops were not up to par in my expectation. There were some really good workshops in terms of being able to hear what's going on in Sacramento, and I think it's important for us to we've talked about initiating that lobbying conversations, whether it's important to do it here locally, but it's also important to visit and strengthen those relationships with the Department of Education, and I'll tie that into that last in one of the past board meetings, we did talk about allocating monies towards board trainings. And I strongly suggest that we use that effectively. For my part, I really think we need to, as a district, look very carefully at what's being offered at those workshops and decide whether we need to attend all of them. And I appreciate Ms. Butner's commitment to working with our district. I think that's gonna make a difference. I did have an opportunity to sit down and talk with her at the conference, and I think that's one thing I took away, that we need to work together, not on opposite sides of the table. The other point that we're coming up fast on the local control funding, and we need to jump on getting parents, getting faculty, getting staff involved in this conversation, because time's passing very quickly. And I think that's it. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. Mr. Calderon?
Well, like the rest of my colleagues just said, that CSBA conference was, well, for me, being the first time attending, it was really useful. I don't have a point to compare, because I didn't go to the one in San Francisco, so I can't really compare. So the ones that the sessions that I attended were really useful to me to hear from. I don't want to say an expert, but to hear from somebody else. So they were really good. I mean, in my from my perspective, like I said, you guys went to San Francisco, so I didn't, so I don't know how that was. Going to the interim report, I'm hoping I hear it every day, local control formula, local funding formula, and I hear it in Coachella as well. I'm sorry, bless you. I'm going crazy with that. You know, one day I hear something, the next day I hear something else. And that's why I asked you, when are we going to get a clearer picture? Because one day we hear one thing, next week we may hear something else. So I'm hoping for the best. A lot of the expenditures that we make, or that we do here, that I see, it's a lot of trainings, and I know and I hear, oh well, the money should be for our students, and the money should be for our students, but our people, our employees need to get trained. Okay, we have our people need to be trained to be up to par with other, so we can, I don't want to say compete, but yes, compete with other districts. Okay, so yeah, so I do like that our staff, everybody gets trained, and that's why we pay for all these trainings. Okay, I serve on the IVROP board as well, and I hear that in a couple years, some of the districts may choose not to put in money into IVROP, and it actually frightens me, because if that goes away, if ROP goes away, a lot of our students take advantage of those programs, as you may know. And so far, I know that, and it's an open session, so I'm not breaking the law. I know one district is really thinking about pulling out. So it is actually, but it's not into 2 years from now, but it is essential that we keep those programs. So if you hear something about IVROP, just say, hey, go IVROPs, because we need those programs. Okay, we need those programs. And last but not least, oh good, then I'm not being timed. Good. Last but not least, when I attended the city council meeting last Tuesday, a week from today, last week I should say, and it saddened me to hear what the city council is trying to do, which is to build their own pool instead of going with us. And although I stood up and made a big angry face at Hodge and Kim and Castro, they didn't budge. They said they want to go their own route. They want to go after Senator Hueso's money, and they want to build their own pool. And I was there. Nobody's telling me I was there. I was this far from them. So when Castro and Kim were saying that, so at this point I don't know what's going to happen, but unfortunately we may need to think about it again if what we're gonna do with the pool. So that's it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon, and I'll keep it brief and just echo strongly what Ms. Duarte said and what Ms. Aguilar said, and echoing also what Ms. Rodriguez said about our budget and being cautious, and a lot of the things that I hear repeatedly over this year in particular has been being cautious with local control, and that's in terms of the money that we're going to get, and just acting with caution and making sure that it's surrounded by a really strong plan that has input from everybody. And more than anything, and you're right, we have had many conversations over and over where we're asking to tie the decisions that we're making to the district goals, and that the agenda be formulated that way. Tying that back also to the trainings that we go to as a board, I think the more we can get involved that way, the more we can work with administration and with Carolina, so that we can set policy that makes sense. So the more we understand the complexities of the budget and the complexities of what LCFF and the LCAP are going to require, the better decisions we're going to make. So I really like to take advantage of the trainings that we go to as a board, understanding that when we go to a training, it's all coming out of general fund. So I know on my end, I believe we all take it very seriously when we go out there and get information, because it does help us. The retreats that we've had this year have certainly helped me, and I know that when the board members that have gone to them, I think it's been beneficial. I'd like to see that continue this coming year. With that said, also happy holidays to everyone, and enjoy your Christmas and New Year. Thank you. That's it for my comments. We are at this point going to make an announcement of convening into closed session.
At this point, the board will go into closed session regarding the matters listed in the agenda in item M. As to item 5, anticipated litigation, the facts and circumstances involving that matter involve the public employment retirement system, employee contributions, and district reimbursement for a limited number of unrepresented employees. And then the board will come back in open session to continue the agenda.
Thank you.
She reminded me of the district that said we have 22